At what point does collecting become an unhealthy obsession?
Well, thanks for your question, JC. Anything becomes unhealthy when it starts to interfere with your normal everyday life. Whether it's you're spending too much money that you can't pay your mortgage or your rent or eat, or it's bleeding away your time and energy from spending time with your friends and family, and it's affecting that relationship, or mentally it's putting you off from your normal routine, your normal work, your normal habits. That's when anything, whether it's porn or video games or gambling or alcohol or drug use, that's when anything becomes unhealthy to me. That's the point. If you can fake it up to that point and have, games on a wall, but it's not affecting my mortgage, or I'm still having a social life that's healthy, I'm still going out there and doing other things, my health isn't taken for granted, I don't have teeth falling out, then it's okay. But once you cross over that line, now it's unhealthy.
I feel like it's example based wise, I feel like it's unhealthy when someone comes into the store and sees a copy of a game. I don't remember what game it was, but this happened today. Shit, what game? Whatever. And it's a $60 game, and it doesn't come around. What the fuck was it? It doesn't come around very often. It was something Super Nintendo, some sort of Super Nintendo RPG. And
Lufia 2.
They look at it and they're like, "Oh man, you have that? That's so cool." And I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Oh man, I think I'm gonna need to get that. God, I shouldn't be spending the money." And then they're like, "How much is it?" And I'm like, it says right on there, $59.99. And then this is something that's always telltale weird for me. Well, what is that with tax? If your decision is what the tax bumps it up to, which by the way is like $64.79 in California, in San Diego, then you probably shouldn't be buying it in the first place. If tax is your deciding factor on an item that is under $100 or $200, like you really shouldn't be looking at it. And then they go, and then like they're like, and I'm not making this up. This is today. I know I never see this, and that's, can I see it? Yes, it's in really good shape. I think it was like Secret of Mana or something. It might have been 50. I'm like, oh, it's a really nice copy, and I'm like, yeah, it's gorgeous looking, good label. I know I'm never gonna play it.
Oh,
and it's like, okay, so you brought up the sales tax, and you already said you're never gonna play it. What kind of game is it again? I know it's supposed to be a good one. It's in a lot of people's top 15. I'm like, it's kind of like a Zelda. You can do multiplayer. It's really good. I said, but if you, and at this point, it's like, I gotta be careful what I say here because it's kind of a regular at this point. So like this, I say things.
Did you not want him to buy it?
So well, no. So at this point, I say things I normally wouldn't say because it's a regular. It's someone I say. I'm like, hey, it's, we close in an hour. It's slow. It'll be here tomorrow if you want to, think on it. Because I will say things like that to regulars if I realize that they're obviously like.
Do you think he was like? Do you think he was calculating, if I buy this, I can't buy like milk and eggs,
sort
of thing?
I don't know. I mean, because I don't know the person.
Okay.
But they're obviously hemming and hawing over the money and asking me about tax, and they want to buy a game that they don't know anything about. And they're saying that they're already not going to play it. So even if, and then they end up buying it, is where I'm going.
Okay.
So even if it's not a money issue, if you're hemming and hawing and buying stuff that you're never going to play because you feel compelled to buy it, like you have to because you're a collector and this is a top 15 game for most people, I'm sorry, at that point it's become unhealthy. I'm not saying unhealthy to the degree you're talking, but that's not psychologically a good reason to be doing anything.
But that's a lot of collectors do, though. Well, not just video games, everything. There's no reason that you have to collect, a Mickey Mantle rookie card that costs, whatever,
but you really,
$30,000.
But if they really want it, they want it. And so maybe I'm making a broader statement on collecting. If you don't know anything about it, and you say flat out you're not going to use it, and you're hemming and hawing over money, and you buy it anyways, that to me is not healthy behavior.
Or you just called that most of the audience.
No, I didn't. I think most collectors buy things because they want them. I would like a complete set.
Oh, you're saying...
I would like a complete set. I would like this game. These collectors have goals in mind. I'm talking about a person who is buying something...
You're someone that's trying to convince themselves to do it and probably doesn't even want it.
Yes, that's exactly what I said.
Okay. Well, it's not exactly what you say, but that's where you're going. Is that they're trying to trick themselves into buying it when they. Okay, yeah, maybe they're
Doesn't know anything about the game.
Maybe it's a status symbol within themselves that I have to buy this because it's there. If I don't, I'll feel worse about myself.
Yeah, and I'm not even trying to make a statement on people who buy things and then don't play them, because there are collectors, like I said, who are like, well, that's their goal. They are going to have a full
Sure.
set, so they're buying all these things. And yes, they may not play that, and yes, that may bother you and I, and that's a different topic. But this is a person who is not going for a full set. This is a person who sees it, knows that for some odd reason,
For some strange reason, he's compelled to buy it, but doesn't know why.
Why? Yes.
Okay,
That's
that's
unhealthy.
where your unhealthy, sort of minimum criteria is. Okay.